Yep. Yep. That's what we're looking for, folks. Mariners win 4-0. They improve to 12-11 on the season. That's right. They're over 500 for the first time since game 3. And they've taken the first of the 3-game series against Texas. And they're in first place. The Seattle Mariners are in first place with only 139 games left to be played. Go over the scoring plays, which we always do. Cal Raleigh homers to right to score J.P. Crawford in the first. And Julio Rodriguez, finally. And oh boy, finally. And just, they only count for one, but boy, did he crush this thing. A 2-run homer to score Josh Rojas in the third. They say it went 435 feet. That seems about a mile and a half too short. 4-0 Mariners. No scoring plays after that for either team. That's fine for the Mariners. That's not so fine for Texas. Ball game over. Not a lot of negatives to talk about tonight in a game that was awesome. This was the Seattle Mariners just being the much better team. And that's fun to say against the World Series defending champions. Now, look, Texas isn't playing great right now. They've got some injury issues in the pitching staff and some guys who aren't quite hitting as well as they will in a few weeks or days. But it's still a great win. My one complaint here, middle of the lineup didn't have a very good game. Mitch Haniger struggled. Ty France struggled. Mitch Garver struggled. Those are guys you're going to be relying on. It's not great to have those guys go 0 for 11. It's not great for any 3 hitters to go 0 for 11. But those guys in particular are important. They are important offensive players. And I've been concerned with what I've seen from Haniger as of late. I have been concerned about, despite the Baseball Savant page, I've been really concerned by what I've seen from Ty France. And Mitch Garver looks lost. Now, I don't know how much Garver it has to do with injury. I wonder if the back is bothering him more than we know. It doesn't matter. The results are bad. If he's that bad off, put dude on injured list. Let him get healthy. Doesn't look good. Does draw a walk. And we'll talk about the walks once again being a positive for the Seattle Mariners. But Polanco, France, and Garver are very important parts of this offense right now, and I think they'll probably be important parts of this offense all year. They've got to play better. They've got to play better. But that's really it for what we have for negatives. And yeah, we can get it. Is there any negatives on the pitching tonight? No. Nope. Let's get into the positives, but first, let's of course thank Simply Seattle, who provide the very best in Seattle sports gear. Great stuff for the Mariners, of course, but also the Seahawks, the Huskies, Storm, Sounders, Cougars. You can find it all at simplyseattle.com. Once you find everything you're looking for, enter code MOLLYWOP15, MOLLYWHOP15. You just enter that at checkout. It automatically takes 15% off your order. It's a great deal from great people. Simply Seattle has helped me in a lot. They're currently helping me with something that I would appreciate you guys checking out. They're great. Thank you so much. And again, that's www.simplyseattle.com. Link in the description to make it nice and easy. Logan Gilbert. It's weird to say a guy who only allowed 2 hits over 6 2/3 innings battled, because I know what the connotation of battled is, right? Doesn't have his best stuff, doesn't have his best command. So when you hear battled here, it almost sounds like an insult. And maybe it is a little bit, because he clearly didn't have his best command. But to say that he made key pitches and took advantage of some bad umpiring as well. But I promised myself I'm not going too crazy about umpiring. Let's see if that can last more than 2 or 3 games. Oh, by the way, Simply Seattle, this shirt right here. Love it. Love it. Go get it. Matches this thing perfectly. I love Simply Seattle. I knew I forgot to mention something. Logan Gilbert, by the way, or continuing, he battled. He absolutely battled. And this is the type of stuff you see And by stuff, I'm not talking about Arsenal, the type of results that you see from ace pitchers who don't have their best stuff. So yeah, he gives up 6 base runners, and 4 of those are walks, and 59 of 100 pitches land for strikes. But anytime he was in even a smidgen of trouble, Logan Gilbert got the job done. The improvement that I've seen from Gilbert over these first, I think this is 5 starts now, can't be overstated. And it's not like Logan Gilbert was bad coming into the year or anything close. But he looks like a legitimate ace. And I would go so far as to say that he is the ace of the staff right now. I don't think you could be too hyperbolic about how good Logan Gilbert has looked. And this isn't against a pretty good lineup. This is against a great lineup. As deep a group as you'll find. And he shoved. And he, maybe shoved is too strong considering the 4 walks. I'm not sure it is. 2 extra base hits. All of 2 extra base hits. He's the staff ace right now. And that's not an insult to Bryce Miller or to George Kirby or obviously Luis Castillo. It's just a super high compliment for a dude who is pitching as well as anybody I've seen in baseball this year. His 1.87 ERA, which is fantastic, is so misleading. So misleading. It's been phenomenal. I could wax poetically about Logan Gilbert all night. You know who else I could wax for a long time about? Gabe Spire. Now, Corey Seager does give that ball a little bit of a ride, and I think everybody was a little angsty, but play made. But outside of that, and while facing the top of the Texas order, phenomenal job. Gabe Spire has been so good over this first month. What a find he was last year. And he was a big part of the bullpen last year too, of course. But he's taking things up a notch. That's as high leverage a situation as you can get. I know it's 4-0. But facing those hitters in a game that they're still very much in, to me, that's as high leverage as it gets. Great job by him. Stanek gets the job done. Andre Munoz, not the best command again, but gets the job done as well. And nice to see a bounce back from him. Nice to see a bounce back from him as well. I got to go take care of a dog real quick. Sorry about that. You can't really tell, but you see that weird little edit. It's fine. So yeah, pitching tonight, phenomenal. 9 strikeouts, only allowed the 3 hits. Nobody walks after Gilbert leaves. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And, we talked about the middle of the order struggling. A pretty nice little compensation for that is the top of the order being awesome. J.P. Crawford leads off the game with the double, draws a walk as well. And then Julio and Cal. Superstars. It was 2 great things. The Raleigh homer. So great to get off to such a good start. To make it 2-0 at the end of the first. And, obviously it's 2-0 with 1 out in the first after he hits the homer, but you know what I'm saying. This is a guy who is playing as good of defense behind the plate as anybody, who was getting on at a 350 clip and slugging 529. Folks, that's a star. That is an absolute star. That is one of the best catchers in baseball. Top 5 at least. I still giggle, absolutely giggle, the thought that a big organization, thought that Cal Raleigh wasn't one of the 10 best catchers in baseball. That's just ignorance and stupidity. I'm not sure which is more, but it's a combination of both. It's stupid to be ignorant. He's just on fire right now. And Julio, you know, I wasn't, I obviously wasn't expecting Julio to go 23 games without a homer, nor was I expecting him to finish the year with no homers. What a hot take. But boy, it was nice to see that ball go over the fence. And did it ever go over the fence? That ball was shellacked. And seeing him hug the trident, and what a weight off his shoulders. And he's now hitting 278. And I know batting average, yada, yada, yada. But consider this guy was getting on base at a 260 clip like a week ago. Now up to 323. Now, I want more. Of course. I think Julio Rodriguez, with as talented as he is, should be a guy who I don't need to get on at Juan Soto pace, but like 370, 380 should not be hard to ask for. I want him to be the same Julio, because aggressiveness is always going to be a big part of Julio's game, and you want him to be comfortable. Sure look comfortable tonight, by the way. But 323 and 278, when you remember how bad wordy that was not that long ago. He's playing at a star level again, and it's awesome to see. Especially when you combine it with how good he's been defensively. Almost makes a really good catch again tonight, too. He looked pretty frustrated by that, but we're not going to harp too much on Julio's defense. But awesome to see that JP Crawford's starting to get on base at a nice clip again. Top of the order was phenomenal. And by the way, Jorge Polanco, the hits still aren't really falling. He's a walk machine. 2 more tonight. 2 more. He's just, the approach he has shown has been so good. And it's not like he's just not swinging at pitches that are just way out of the strike zone. No, he's fouling off pitches in order to get deeper into counts. So yeah, you look at that 169 average, and that's not so nice. But the 326 on base percentage coming with that average, that is nice. That is nice. He is making pitchers work, and the Mariners have done such a good job of that as of late. 5 more walks tonight. 10 strikeouts, a little too much. But another big thing that the Mariners have done, and I don't think I've harped on this enough, or whatever word you want to use, how great of a job they have been to getting into bullpens. And folks, yes, the Rangers bullpen was good tonight. 4 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball. I will take my chances against that bullpen. And getting deep and making them use 5 guys tonight, it's awesome. In the first game of the series. Awesome stuff. Or excuse me, 4. Well, they used 5 with Dunning, but 4 bullpen arms used. That's awesome. I love how this team is playing right now. And this is my favorite win of the year by far. By far. Because it was such a complete win. By the way, Josh Rojas also made a terrific defensive play, and France did a good job picking it out as well. But defense at third base has not been an issue since the first 4 or 5 games. Maybe closer to 6, but the last couple of weeks, defense at third base has been fine. Defense other places, okay. But it's great to see how good they've looked at the hot corner. Because it was a massive concern coming into the year. It's okay if you're not convinced right now. But right now, they look pretty darn good at third base. So tomorrow, I believe it's Bryce Miller against John Gray. Let's just confirm that real quick. Yep, Bryce Miller against John Gray. I'd say advantage Mariners. John Gray's a pretty solid pitcher, but the way Bryce Miller's been pitching, I'll take him against a lot of people. Most people. That's good. Feels good to say that the Seattle Mariners are in first place in April. It feels good to say it at any time. At any time. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, please hit join if you're interested. I know that a few of you have been disappointed by this. I don't get it, but it's fine. $4.99. Nothing's changing in terms of the free stuff. That all of that's the same. I'm just adding some extra content. And tomorrow, for subscribers, I will have my top 15 prospects for the Seattle Mariners. And then we'll have our first chat on Sunday. I have been extremely appreciative, for lack of a better word. No, not lack of a better word. There's no better word. Extremely appreciative of people who have signed up so far. Thank you. And I understand that $5 is too much for a lot of people. Totally get it. Not even kind of begrudging. But for those who do want to help support the channel more, and for those of you who do have the means, it's really appreciated. Great win. Back tomorrow. Great stuff.